back from Texas on my first wild boar hunt, which is super exciting because it's the biggest thing I've killed ever, other than a mouse. Let's see, a gopher or a pigeon. But of course now I have this beautiful wild boar and I don't know what to do with it, and that's where you come in. So Tufik is a good friend of mine, and he is a master chef at the Lake Cordon Bleu. And so Tufik is going to show me how to break down this animal into smaller cuts, or workable cuts. Is that what they're called?
That's right, they are primal cuts.
Primal cuts.
Primal cuts.
Okay, so we're going to cut it down into primal cuts.
First thing you want to do is make sure that you keep your area and all your tools are safe. That's the number one rule. So make sure you keep an eye on your knives and where they are at all times.
So, this was my first time skinning an animal too, so I did the best I can. I mean, some of my cuts are sort of rough around skinning it, and I know when I cut the head off, like there's the esophagus and stuff like that in there. So are there any things that we should do before we even get to the primal cuts? Is there some sort of pre-primal cut stuff that we should do?
Exactly, but you want to make sure that you remove the organs or the blood lines or veins that are strong in flavor. Make sure you want to trim that off and make sure that you split the breastbone first.
Okay, so that really, after you kind of do that icky cleanup, I'll call it icky cleanup,
sure.
Then we're going to cut the breastbone is going to be the first thing.
Right.
What's the third step?
Then you want to make sure that you get a good view from the neck to the tailbone. So the tailbone means the back, the end of the animal. From the neck down, and it's a nice clean cut. And so it's your first guideline to be able to split the animal in half. Once you get a nice clean cut, make sure that you cut the meat through with a knife, and then use a saw. You're letting the saw do the motion of the saw doing the work. Don't try to push down, otherwise you're going to get an edgy line. And just let the saw do the work, and then you'll be able to get a nice clean cut. And the idea there is to split the animal in half. This is the first step in splitting the animal, and then in the quarters. Exactly. So the next thing you want to make sure you do is, again, identify, make sure that all the bloodline is removed, or any bloody spots, and then you want to make sure that you trim away the organs, if you have the organ meats, kidneys, and so forth, or any heart or muscle tissues that need to be removed. And then what you want to do is remove, the first thing is the tenderloin.
Okay.
The tenderloin is going to be the primal, or the best cut of meat. It's very soft, very tender, so you trim away the tenderloin.
Okay.
And can move to the next step.
Okay, so I know there are different styles breaking down an animal. Can you maybe just list those for me, some different ways to break it down?
Yes, there's the US style of cutting the meat, European style where, in England and France will be doing differently. But what we're going to show you today is the American style of cutting the meat in primal cuts. You can start on the front or in the back, however you feel comfortable. And then we're going to break it down at the leg or at the shoulder point. So if you start at the leg, then you can do either or. You can do the short ham or the full ham, or you can do the short ham.
So why would you want to cut either a full or a short ham?
So if you have a full ham, then you would have more of a bigger piece of ham. And if you do a short ham, then you have a bigger piece of loin.
Okay.
This would be the advantage.
So it's personal choice at that point?
Correct.
There's no right or wrong way, it's just personal choice?
It's whatever you like.
Okay. And so then what do we do after we have our hams?
So at that point, you want to be able to work on the belly side. So you can even split the belly in half and get part of the belly for your bacon. You can work on the top side, which is the loin, and on the shoulder part, then you would have the Boston butt and the picnic shoulder.
Okay.
So those will be the primal cuts that we're going to be working on.
Okay, so there are some pretty basic primal cuts.
Correct. Yeah.
And so can you just recount them for me so I can remember? So our primal cuts are?
From the top down, so we're on the top shoulder, we'd have the Boston butt.
1.
Beneath it, we'd have the picnic shoulder.
2.
And then we have the loin.
3.
Belly.
4.
And then the ham or the leg.
5. So really 5 primal cuts.
Correct.
Once you have those 5 primal cuts, I mean, even though this is a small pig, I can't just throw that into a frying pan. So is there something that happens after that?
Correct. You can turn these into fabricated cuts or sub-primal cuts.
Sub-primal or fabricated.
Yep.
So that sounds like another episode.
That's right.